In the first part of the program tonight, we got a partial tour of the Awataha Marae on Auckland's North Shore. A lot of feedback has come in on that tour, and we will bring you some of it shortly. It was a partial tour because we weren't allowed to see the dorm that's been controversial as a result of media coverage of the Labour Party student and intern scheme that saw roughly 85 foreign students staying there. And partial because when I went to interview the students, I was told by a man claiming to be a Labour Party representative that they couldn't talk to me. But our cameraman Bradley White and I were there an hour or so, and during that time we did manage to find students prepared to talk. In fact, everyone became much more relaxed the longer we were there. None wanted to be identified. We spoke to 3 on mic and camera and more than double that off camera, and it should be pointed out that those who are unhappy have probably left by now. After the students, one from Harvard and one from Columbia, we'll hear again from Marae head Anthony Wilson. Now, I have absolutely no idea what you're going to say to me, right? We've had no pre-discussion at all.
Yeah, we've had no conversation before this interview.
Okay, so where are you from?
The United States.
Why are you here?
I'm here because I thought it would be interesting to do a Labour Party internship in New Zealand. I applied for it and I got accepted, so I came over here about 3 weeks ago.
And how's it been?
It's been good. I've enjoyed my time here so far.
A slight upward inflection on the good, which means that some of it's been good and some of it's been less good?
Yeah. But I think overall the experience has been pleasant. We've had the whole kind of political situation here a couple of weeks ago, or about a week ago. But I mean, some people decide to leave and go home, but I decided to stick it out and persevere through it, I guess.
What have you thought of staying here at the Marae?
I've enjoyed my stay here, to be perfectly honest. There are some people who weren't exactly happy about the accommodations, but I was more than happy about the accommodations.
And what about your experience as a Labour Party intern? Has that been all you hoped it would be?
Just about. Yeah, I would say it has been. This is my second campaign. I campaigned during the 2016 general election campaign for Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. I'd say it's been different, but I'd say they've both been rewarding experiences.
I wanted the opportunity to have a cool international working experience and live in New Zealand.
I don't want to put any words in your mouth, and I want you to tell me the truth, right?
Yes, got it.
Right, independent of everything that's been said, what has your experience been like here?
It has been absolutely phenomenal. The staff on the Marae could not be more hospitable if they tried. We've had a bed, we've had food, we've had delicious meals, we've had showers, so there's nothing really else you can ask for. We are privileged students and we're so lucky to have had the opportunity to be in New Zealand.
Do you feel let down by the Labour Party? Were you promised things that haven't eventuated? And that's a different discussion from the Marae discussion,
Absolutely.
right?
That's a different discussion from the Marae, but I haven't felt let down at all. I feel I've only been here for a couple weeks and I got in some awesome working experience, and the Labour Party is doing everything they can to accommodate us now. So I'm off to Wellington. I'm going to be working in the offices there, and I'm really, really excited.
You go to Harvard University?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Right, so you're an exceptional student to be at Harvard at 20, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And here you are serving yourself lunch. What have you thought of this experience?
It's been a great experience, to be honest. I think the people has just made it for me. I've only been here a week, but immediately when I came in, I was welcomed. I didn't exactly know what was going on, and I have learned more about the story from being here, but the people at the Marae have fed me, been so nice, acted like I was their children.
We've had tens of thousands of people using the facilities before, and we've never had a complaint ever before of this sort of nature. So it really depends on what the expectations that were laid prior to the arrival of the group as to what they were coming to.
You described them, when we were talking before, as humble?
They are humble. We're humble people. I'm not too sure whether there's other facilities that are better than that. Perhaps there are.
Maybe not for $12 a night, right?
It's all relative to price.
You say you're humble. There are people who say Anthony Wilson is anything but humble. Hohepa McLean, even Buck Shelford's been protesting out the front of this place, and one of the most famous All Blacks who's ever worn the black jersey. Yeah. What's that about? Why does this Marae, under you, wind people up the wrong way?
I think because of things like what we're doing now. We're really trying to reach out and become internationally recognised. I mean, this has polarised the whole issue around our accommodation.
It excludes the community, doesn't it? It excludes the local community.
Oh no, yeah, and that's. I'm glad you raised that issue, because if there was ever a time I want to deal with that, it would be right now. It has been said that because we've had groups like this, such a large group, that the community has not been able to access the facilities. It's simply not true. During this day of this group, we had one of our matua pass away. He came here, he laid in state, albeit for a short time. We observed our cultural rituals, had a karakia and all that. Many of these young people came and paid their respects to that kaumatua because he lived here for 20 years. So we were able to still observe our cultural rituals while we're actually still doing these type of activities. The other thing to say is we've got another group coming in 1 week's time that is a national group, 60 young talented Māori coming here to be living noho wānanga style, just like these people have. And that is run by the Māori Women's Development Fund. We've also got a karate tournament coming in on the back of this thing. That's local people using the marae facilities. And then we've also got 700 school children waiting to come here in semester 3, and another 1,000 ready to be booked. So we strongly refute some of the accusations that it's not open to community while we've got events like this running. And it polarises the fact that we need more facility. That's what it actually does. And I challenge some of those who are protesting. Doesn't matter what their pedigree is, because I'm not going to go. And Buck's a wonderful guy. Hohepa, well, there's some issues with Hohepa with us, but you know that's for another time. But getting back to the point, I challenge those people to actually come down and help out here, because that is one of the points that if you don't come to the marae ever in 10 years and you don't help out, like you see those old people in the kitchen doing that day in, day out, it's really hard for us to accept your criticism as being valued to us, because you would have to come down and try and help out first and then say we're doing such a terrible job. But you stand on the outside, wave your placards, and in particular with that group, we've already offered them board positions on our newly established trust that so we actually don't know what they're now protesting about. If it is about personalities, well then, you know, maybe that's a separate issue, and then we should stick to, if you want to personally demonise me, then we can have a conversation separate to the real issues of expanded facilities to be able to cater for all the things that we're doing here.
It's Anthony Wilson, head of the Awataha Marae. We spoke to 3 students on the record, although they didn't want to be identified. One from Columbia, one from Harvard. I can't remember where the other one was from, and they were having a pretty great time. Those we spoke to off the record, who weren't being overseen, and in a couple of cases no one saw them talking to me, said the same thing. Of course, the people who are still there are the people happy with being there.